Welcome back to Trendsetter Shaving, gentlemen. Today we're going to get into a couple of my favorite safety razors, or razors in general. Maybe even touch on some of my favorite aftershaves. Now the reason I'm doing this and walking you guys through my favorites is not really to showcase what I have, and not really to say that you should buy it. There's plenty of great products out there and everybody's face and beard is different. But these are just a couple things that I prefer and that I like, and if you watch my videos I thought it'd be fun to share. So that being said, everything will be rated on a scale of 1 to 5. And I'll go down the list as far as what's my favorite and what's my least favorite. So here we go. Coming in at number 1. And this is probably my least favorite. And that would be my Merkur 42C. It's a pretty mild razor. It's not really super aggressive. But it is a good razor to start with, and it's not a bad starting point as far as safety razors go. But that being said, it's just not that aggressive for me. So I use this kind of more so when I've maybe been shaving every day or something, and I just want to do a quick 2-pass shave, without ripping my face up with something too aggressive. So it is good for that, for just kind of a mild shave. And it's probably about 4 to 5 ounces, pretty good weight. But the one thing I didn't really like about it was the handle. It's got this just cheesy looking handle that to me looks like 1920s barber pole. And some people out there might like that, but for me it's just a really dinky, cheesy handle. And I really wish it would have came with more of a chunkier handle like the Merkur 37 did. But that being said, I bought a Scotch and Stow handle, which I'm sure you guys have seen the video for. And that clicks onto here quite nicely. And it works out for me. It's not bad. Alright, coming in at number 2. And again, we're going from least favorite up to favorite. Would probably have to be my Gillette 1965 Techmatic. Now, you're going to be probably questioning why on this. Well, again, it's probably because it's the mildness. It's not that aggressive of a razor. It's still the old traditional style closed safety bar. And I'm just not really a big fan of that. I'm really not. I mean, this isn't a bad razor from your day-to-day and to travel with. It's great for that. It's got an okay weight. You can virtually put any handle you want on it, which is very nice about this head. And it is one of the best heads made out there. But for me, I just find still that it's too mild. It just doesn't get it for me. So number 3 on my list here. And this is where we get into more of the more aggressive razors. So this is what I like, because I've got pretty thick beard. And that would be my Merkur 37 Slant. This thing is as aggressive as they get. They don't call them the sledgehammer just for fun. And I love it. It's a 2-piece. So it's very easy to clean, very easy to switch blades with. You just drop and screw down and you're good to go. That's what I love about this. There's no second guessing your blade. There's no trying to line anything up. You just drop it in, you get it in there, and this thing will attack a full beard. It's that aggressive. That's what I love about it. Now the only drawback to this razor is that probably couldn't shave every day with it. It's that aggressive. It'll kind of tear you up after a while, and it kind of gets your skin pretty sensitive. But I do really like the knurling on it even. It's a much better handle than the 42C. And it's just all around a better weight and a better feel. So, it's a lot more aggressive, and I love that. I really like an aggressive razor. So coming in at number 4, and being my favorite, would probably be the Piccolo Fatip Open Comb. Now this thing, if you can see, it's very, very, very aggressive. It's very much so just straight blade right to face when you use this and when it's actually loaded. And the reason I really like that is because I'm more of a straight edge shave guy anyways. And this is as close to a straight edge shave that you can get with a safety razor as there is out there. And this thing is actually more aggressive than probably the Mule, I believe it's 41, that's out there. It's just a super, super aggressive, very well crafted, handmade in Italy safety razor. And believe it or not, one of the other things I do like about this is, remember our cheesy handle that came on our 42C? Well, if you screw that onto here, because I'm not a big fan of this knurling, the lined knurling that comes on it, you screw that onto here, and it's actually not bad at all. Kind of gives it a nice classy look. I like it. So there you have it. I mean, all things considered, down the line of most of my safety razors, this is probably my favorite one because of just the aggressiveness. This thing has to be at least a 5 on the scale of aggressive. And out of all my razors though, I thought I would show you guys my actual favorite out of everything. And that would be my Boker King Cutter. This thing is phenomenal. It'll take a full beard off, it'll take stubble off, it'll take your finger off if you're not careful. This thing is just unbelievably sharp, and I love that. And it doesn't take much stropping or honing or any of that jazz to get it where it needs to be. And as far as aftershaves, probably my least favorite would be this Panade Vanilla. And the reason being, it's not bad. It's an aftershave lotion, so it has lotion property. It's not bad stuff, but it's just too close to the regular Panade smell to me, which is too flowery. It's too floral for me. I don't really like it. But if you want to stay old-fashioned and stay Panade, probably my second least favorite is the Panade Reserve. It's not bad. It's got kind of a leathery smell. It's a little less floral, but it still kind of has that powdery, musky, old man smell that I just don't always like. Now here's one that you probably have not heard of, but you can find almost anywhere, and it may shock you to find this on my video. That'd be the Stetson Cool Moisturizing. And you know, it's one of those things I took a step back and just went back to the old traditional stuff. The Brute, the Javon Musk, you know, that sort of stuff. And this happened to be there. The Stetson. And I really like this stuff. So this is probably about my middle grade as far as favorites. But it's got kind of just a, I don't know how to explain it, kind of like a suede, saddle-y, leathery, woodsy type smell to it. But because it's the cool moisture, they kind of mix in a little bit of a, I don't know, I guess a sage or a pine with it, and it gives it just a really nice undertone on top of that leather smell. So it's very manly and musky, but it's kind of just old school, you know? It's something your dad may have worn. As far as the Panade just being sometimes a little too overbearing with that smell. Now, one of the Panades that is actually up towards my favorites, which gets away from their old barbershop old man smell, would be the Bay Rum. And I really like this stuff. You know, it's got that bay leaf smell with the kind of Jamaican rum. Just, I don't know, I really like this. They did a good job on this. It's not very thick. It's not very overpowering. It's one of those things you put it on and it will stay with you throughout most of the day. However, I will say out of bay rums, I like the Colonel Conk a little better. So Panad's kind of just the cheaper version of it. But I've found the Colonel Conk one actually lasts a little bit longer. It's actually a little bit more woodsy. Now my all-time favorite aftershave that I have, and this is definitely going to be one you guys probably have never heard of, is this great company called Philosophy. They make all kinds of soaps and bath products, things of that nature. I didn't even know they made aftershaves or colognes. I had no idea. But I had somebody get me one for a birthday gift. And it's called Amen. And I love this stuff. As you can see, I've used quite a bit of it. This is probably my favorite. Because it is an actual cologne, but it's doubled as an aftershave, which isn't very usual of a cologne. That's what's kind of cool about this. It can be used as either or, because it doesn't have a lot of alcohol content. But it's just got the best smell to it in the world to me. It's, if I had to explain it, it's kind of a citrus musk, but still has a little bit of that suede undertone. It's just nice. It's a crisp, clean, very fresh scent. So if this is something you actually want to try, I would say go to their website, which is just philosophy.com. And again, it's called Amen. And you know, if I had to pinpoint it with anything out there, I'd say it kind of reminds me, I mean, even the bottle shape reminds me a little bit of the stuff out there by Fine. If you guys have heard of them or used any of their products, it kind of reminds me of that. And since I got a little bit more time here, I told you we'd maybe get into brushes. As far as shave brushes go, probably not my favorite, but very nice when used with Perazzo, is the Omega 10048. Still love this thing, still big, but the only drawback is it's still bore. No matter how much I use this, no matter how much I like it, it's still bore. And I'm just not a big fan of that. Sometimes that's really rough on your face when you're shaving day to day. It's my all-time favorite brush still. And I have actually several other Badgers. But still would have to be my Art of Shaving Genuine Badger. It's not a silver tip, and it's not the pure. It's just their entry-level brush, but I'll tell you what, for being like a $40 brush, still one of the best damn shave brushes I've ever had. So that's it, guys. That's kind of the walk through my gear, and that's all my stuff. I mean, I actually have a little more than that, but that's all my favorites and things that I put into my rotation. So hopefully that gave you some insight as to what products are out there and what things work for you and how you can configure a good collection or lineup of things. And that's what I do. I keep a good mix of mild to aggressive and keep it in my rotation. So there you go. And don't forget to like us on Facebook or hit us up here on YouTube. If you have any questions or comments or anything, just leave them below. And until then, we will see you. Get your shave on, gents.